Hey guys, just wanted to give you a little update. Russell and Doug go home tomorrow, so I wanted to be sure and give the owners just a little bit of, some tips for littermates. So I gave you the go home instructions. Do print them out and post them on your refrigerator and share the commands with the kids because the kids are part of the training. They should be able to at least give the dogs verbal commands and have the dogs follow through. So we'll cover that a little bit more tomorrow at the go home lesson. But I know that you got separate pet cots, and that's awesome. I want you to sort of look around in your house. You're going to need them to be near a place where you can loop a leash around something heavy so that they cannot move. I do recommend that you keep those pet cots separate. Right now I have the boys on place and they're in separate rooms because we really want to, first of all, we want to teach them to be independent of one another. But secondly, they feed off of each other, and so they're a huge distraction to one another. So before we can put them together on place, and you will be able to put them together on place, you just need to solidify the place command where they're actually doing duration. And duration means stay on place for a while until I say break, right? So that could be 30 minutes, it could be 90 minutes. They're going to be working place. They have worked place for hours with me. And I have them on a back tie and they just fall asleep. They just chill out and fall asleep. So just, keep that in mind and sort of try to, and then hold them accountable. They've got to be calm on place and they need to be in a down with the chin resting and a shift in the hips like I've talked about. And that's going to really go a long way. You do this for the next 30, 60, 90 days. And you're going to be rocking and rolling to a really super, super well-behaved dog when they become adults. And then make sure every day, try to, and this is like, it's hard because I know you guys are busy, you have kids, you're working and all that. So, but do try and spend, whoever's got the dogs, if you guys can, one of you take one and the other of you take, just where you can work them each a little bit individually, where you just proofing commands. It's just during your daily interactions, so this is not like an extra homework assignment piled on top of everything else. Just make sure that you are practicing those commands so that they are really good with that's their vocabulary. And then if you have them both and that's the best you can do, then do your very best to just get them, make them hold their sits and their downs. They are super, super, they really struggle, and especially when they're together. And that's why I say if you can do this separately, that's awesome, because even sit for them is like, oh, I don't know what to do. They get that crazy like ADHD going on, and it's really, really tough for them. But that's where the e-collar comes in, because the e-collar, that communication, cuts through all the static in their head. So that's super helpful. And this is going to be your seatbelt going forward, because listen, 1 week is not long enough to pattern in all of this so that it becomes like, second nature for them. You really have to follow through with this and make it your project. And speaking of projects, another daily thing that I want you to do is I want you to give them homework. So when you're making dinner or the kids are doing homework, I want the boys to have an assignment, and that is to do place with duration, where you park them on their pet cots and make them do the work. When everybody else is working, they need to work. Excuse me. And then that's, again, going to solidify every little thing. And it's also going to get you into the routine of, some people think puppies should be playing all the time. And that's absolutely, first and foremost, they're adolescent dogs. They're not puppies anymore. So remember that. They are adolescents, and they're going to test you. They're going to push the limits and boundaries. And it's your job to hold them accountable and make sure that they are behaving the way that you want them to behave as adults. You're always thinking of raising an adult dog ×2, not just, a 6-month-old dog. So keep that in mind. Practice, hello, whoever tuned in, practice them walking very nicely on leash. We did get them to a point today where they were walking super great together. Sometimes that's a challenge, and I want you guys to really, really make sure that you have them walking nicely individually before you throw them together. And especially if you take the kids with you, if that tends to be a distraction, you might need to take a little bit of extra time just for now, the next 30 days, or even maybe just the next 2 weeks, and you really solidify things. Take a little shorter walk separately, get them in check, make sure they're walking by your side nicely, not pulling you, and they're walking at your pace. And they both have a tendency of really going after things on the ground, and you've got to proof that, hey Joan, you've got to proof that that out command, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but they really need reinforcement of that, because every little thing they want to put in their mouth, and that is just not good, because as you know, with Russell already having getting a Nerf ball in his stomach, these boys have got to be watched like a hawk, and that's where the out command is really going to help you. I'll try and get up a post on the out command later, but if not, we will most definitely talk about it at the go home session tomorrow. And let me just show you that they are working. So let me show you what the whole group is up to. Freddie's working too, so let me show you. There's Freddie. He's on place. These are my guys. They're just chilling out. And this is what your guys are eventually going to do. They're going to just chill out and do their own thing. You won't even need to throw them on place. But place is where we develop the off switch, and we cultivate that calm state of mind and that calm demeanor. It's kind of like an underlying calmness in your dog. That's what we're working on. So Russell's rocking it. Doug is over here. Doug can be a bit of a whiner. And so when you put your guys on place, and you can see Doug is also a chewer. So Doug has himself a little chain back tie. That way he can't bust off and start running through the house. That's also a consideration for you. If you think these guys are going to chew at home, then you need to get yourself just a little piece of chain at the hardware store, and with a leash clip, and you can get those at the hardware. Soon. Say goodnight, Russell. Thanks for tuning in, Joan. Have a good one.